Now another point of method. Notice it's important to have a structure, stages, a developed argument. If you just simply look at living things mutely, you do not come to any conclusions as to what the standard of value is. You do need a step-by-step reasoning, and that's the point that the rationalist attaches to, and which throws him off. But the alternative to rationalism is not ignore step-by-step reasoning and just stare at random at concretes. The point is you have to combine step-by-step analysis with a consistent reality focus. You have to remember that everything that you are analyzing one step at a time is there in the perceptions that you started with. That you can't get something for nothing. So your stages, your steps, when you're going value and then life, etc., are simply stages of putting into words and making explicit what was there all the time. You're not getting something out of the blue. Inherent in the concept of value, the way I got it was I perceived certain actions of living organisms. And the actions were, they were pursuing their lives, right? So I didn't only got the concept value by observing that life was the standard. I had to observe living entities pursuing their goals, pursuing their life in order to get the concept of value. And at the same time, I had to observe living entities act to grasp that they were self-sustaining and self-generated. And in observing them act, I saw them act how? To pursue and sustain their own lives. So when I come in and do it a step at a time, it is not as though in actual reality there is value with everything it requires. Then there's life with everything it requires, and then there's the connection. All of that is our way, conceptually, of putting into words in a way that we can grasp the same one fact that is right there when you look at living entities act. You see, all we're doing is putting into words what we are given in perception. There's a whole complexity about value and life. Comes down to, look, there is a carrot. It's reaching out its roots, and whatever the hell it's doing, that's it. That's value. That's the pursuit of value. That's self-sustaining action. That's self-generated action. That's being confronted by an alternative. That's life as the standard. It's all in that. The trick is to learn to combine the fact that there are discrete stages in thought with the fact that the fact exists as one unit, unbroken in the perceptual reality. And you see what happens here, if you can't keep that, the rationalists keep the structure. They keep the step by step, but they cut it off from the reality. Consequently, they always feel, I don't know where I am, or what I'm doing, nothing follows, I can't get it out of my definitions. You remember the name we gave to the other side, the empiricists? They do the opposite. They keep the tie to reality, as we'll see, but they have no organization or structure, no step-by-step at all. They just look. And if he was a nice empiricist, he would say, well, look, there's all those living things, and that's it. But it's self-evident, he might say. He's swamped by lack of organization. He never knows what he's proved or what he hasn't. Now, in fact, it does need proof. But the point is, what kind of proof? What kind of proof? What is the kind of proof that is involved when you look at reality, form general concepts on its basis? If I give you a choice of two possibilities, deduction or induction, which is this one? Induction. Induction means really the process of coming to conclusions on the basis of observation. Deduction is the process of coming to conclusions on the basis of earlier abstractions. And the point here is, in philosophy, the proofs are inherent in the percepts. The proof is simply making explicit what is there all the time. So what is the proof of life as the standard? Now, if you get this, you've got everything. The proof is two different things. A whole complexity of analysis, value and life, and et cetera, but at the same time, the proof isn't any of that. The proof is, look, there are things. Those are living entities. That's it. There is no other proof. All that analysis is just a way of conceptualizing what is there in the data. Now, you see, this is the goal that you have to try to reach with every philosophic idea. You have to try to break it up and reduce it to the point where, to you, the steps of derivation are so clear that when you're asked what's the proof, your automatic sense is, well, look. Then, of course, you remind yourself, well, I had to go through a complex process to look and to automatize all that and conceptualize it, but in fact, all I'm doing is pointing. All my proofs are pointing. If you really got it all, and of course, this is pretty fast. We only had an hour and a half. You know, on an idea this important, this fundamental, and this many complexities, you could easily take 6 hours. I mean, if we had 3 evenings, I hope you see by, just projection, it would be even clearer, maybe more complicated, but even clearer than it is now. But you get the idea. Ideally, you should reach the stage that if you ask yourself, why is life the standard, your inner experience should be, well, look, don't you see? Now, a lot of people say that in an improper way because they think it's, quote, self-evident. That is not correct. See means literally see. Look at these living entities, and you will see all of the distinctions and all of the facts which are proof simply organized. That is the closest I can, at present, describe as the process of making a conceptual idea perceptual. Remember, we said we want